Hello, today I'm back again with a channeling on hybrid children topic. I asked my coffee supporters to give me questions and they gave me quite a few. And Shayla suggested to me to connect a few of them together. So basically, she chose what she wanted to talk about and to answer several of them at once. So I will. I was already meditating, so it's difficult for me to focus on whatever I could, talk about. So I will just go into channeling immediately. Okay. Hello, dear friends on Earth. Today I would like to speak about several questions, as Ivet told you, for hybrid children topic and about hybrid children and their development. So questions that I wanted to connect together was about early stages of development, also how hybrid children are created, uh, what is different, for example, with hybrid children throughout their development, not just in the womb, but also after birth for several few months and years, and how it differs from a human children because we are living on a higher vibrational level. So that we are not connected with the time and like shifting through time as you are. So there is quite a few questions in you how that this works with the hybrid children. So the topic of hybrid children is how they are created. So uh, there are several ways how I could approach this, but of course many of you are interested in general way of hybrid children being created. But of course there are kind of like other type of hybrid children being created already, that are among relationships like romantic relationships with the humans. So that's a kind of like creation or procreation is a little bit different than what is a hybridization program. So first of all, I would like to speak more about hybridization program and what it is currently. And so many of you know that okay, we are hybridizing or creating hybrid children of different DNAs, and it's different from what it was before when Greys have been creating certain hybrids to get more of their true nature back because they kind of like degraded their DNA. So they wanted to basically still develop themselves, but kind of like a back and get back to what it could be, so they can you know uh, procreate again because they lost that ability. And so in the past it was much different. It was completely different hybridization program that what it is now. What we are creating now is more than just creating hybrids for you as a having hybrid children. It's something that is way bigger than what it was in the past, or the intention is completely different. In the past, the Greys wanted to just develop their DNA in a different way, and we have been also part of that, success, story, let's say, of that hybridization program. But it was already created as well in a different way. We are latest of those hybrids, so we are most developed in a certain ways from them, and. So right now hybridization program is also like going beyond of just hybridizing just with the humans. We developed a lot of different techniques of how to create beings, and so we are kind of like hub for creating new beings or developing beings. And there are many different species coming to us as well from outside of your solar system, who wants to create as well different beings or develop their own DNAs as well. So we are kind of like having uh, commissions from them as well, and they are not many of them are also not like connected with you, that we wouldn't always use only like partially also human DNA. So we are having even scientists in our hybridization program, just not just us as Yahyel. There are many different species who connect into this huge, let's say, project of creating new beings, and this is how it was already happening for many years in different ways. So we are just approaching it again in a new way. It's almost, you can look at it as a businesses in a way, galactic businesses of creating new species, and this is the same as you have been created as a humans in a very distant past as well. And because you know that you have been created with some extraterrestrial DNA as well. And so this is what we are doing is very similar to that, but as well, like there are also other hybridization, let's say, programs, or you call it that way, but it's not always identified as just a hybridization program. It's just a label that you are currently using the most. And so they always have been this kind of intentions and projects all over the time, all over the planets and universe. And so we have also kind of like a new approach, like as I was telling you, that it's similar to like businesses. You know that to have a successful business, you have to offer something unique and new. So basically, like we cannot say like we are kind of like the best from other, different businesses, but yeah, there are some different things that we offer as well that are attracting more other, beings or species, or like races to interact with us for this kind of purposes. So yes, so what I wanted to say is just that what we do is much larger than what you maybe imagine, because you have been introduced to it, the story of grace. So what we do, like interaction with you through the hybridization program, is just a very small part of what is happening in a larger scale. And so intentions to do it with you are of course different. It's or specific, that we are basically trying to create a like a bonds between us and you. So we are creating these children, of course, from your desire to connect with us. So this is the way of how we can blend our realities together. So children are kind of like that stepping stone in between that. And then, of course, like as I was saying, another step is also like when you create bonds that are romantic relationships with extraterrestrial, either from our race or other races, and you have children together as well. Those are again like a little bit different, of course, ways of creating hybrid children, or just the children, your children. So, and when I would also talk about like how they are specifically created, or how they are being brought to life, it's of course like we use different techniques of how to create those beings, and some of them are being able to kind of like develop their bodies outside of any body. We have a specific, sort of like a cocoons where they can develop inside of them, and so they don't have to be placed within the physical body. But of course it also depends, like if someone is basically requesting the creation of child, they can or they may want to actually also bring the child into their body. And some types of beings of course can require also physical body, or it's best for that way as well. So when another question was about like how, about like a pregnancy itself. So this is I will turn into more of this, exploring this part of the development of a child when it's within the physical body. And the question was coming from mostly, or asking by Yahyel and Yahyel pregnancy. So when we have a children, either among us or even like a hybrids of like you and us, then when we hold the children in our bodies, it takes about 6 to 7 months in like your time frame of like how long we have those children in our bodies, and then we give birth to them, and we are able to give birth to these children in a natural way. So it doesn't have to go through any surgeries or something like that. And so development of the hybrid children within us, or on this level that we reside in, is shorter, because they are just developing faster. And even when they are from your DNA or combination of your DNA. So then when they are born, they also develop or grow more or faster. They have a connection with as well as your children, with universal energies as well, like very strong. So they are still, again, like very similarly to your children, basically still grounding themselves or focusing more of their higher vibrational energy into their physical bodies. So they are basically not just being born through the physical birth, but they are still being born into their physical body several months after that as well. So and in the beginning, for example, one question or one question or about like shifting through time and space, like because we are also, as me, for example, as a mother of a child, I am able to shift my physical body through times and space, even when, of course, when I am pregnant. It doesn't take any of these abilities away from me. So basically I can go into future, I can go into past when I am pregnant as well. So this way I can basically give a birth in the past, for example, to child, and I was, for example, I got pregnant in the future. So with our time experience, it doesn't matter, all these things. And when a child is born, they of course have this ability as their nature, like to time shift, because they are us, or with us, and but they don't shift like this out of the blue, like when they are little babies, like you just turn away and back to the child and it's not there, because it's teleported into some other time and space. So it doesn't happen that way. They have to develop into a certain age when they are actually being aware of themselves as a separate being from me as a mother. For example, I will use this example with me. So when I have a child, the child at first is very identified with me, and the child thinks that I am him, or I am her. So they basically don't shift their energy at all. They don't feel like shifting, because they really are so attached energetically and through their consciousness with me, that they don't do that. If I shift, they think or feel like it's them who are shifting. But as I explained, then eventually they start to have more of their consciousness, like being separate from me as they develop. And they start to realize, of course, they can shift by themselves as well. But this is a kind of like ability, of course, they have, but they still need to learn to do it on their own. So when they're learning it, it's not like they can immediately shift whenever they can. It's similar like when a child is learning to walk. They are kind of like they cannot immediately run through the whole room. They are just doing it slowly. So basically children cannot kind of like this way disappear. We don't have to be kind of like also afraid. You are not afraid with your children that suddenly a child was not able to walk and suddenly they would be able and just run away. So we of course don't have to be as well afraid that suddenly they would just disappear, because their ability like when they are learning to do it is kind of like limited at the first, and they are developing as fast as their basically consciousness is developing with themselves, with a certain responsibility and so on. And this can take like when they start to realize that they are separate beings. It's about when they are 5 months old, so they start to realize that they are, and developing that mm, ability to completely shift just on their own. And as well, during that time when they are learning that, they're also learning, okay, that they shouldn't be also like a running away. So there is a development of this responsibility within themselves, that of course they wouldn't just if they already have that ability, just run away because they don't want to, that they would stay with me. So part of that learning is also to learn how to basically stay in a way, and to have a certain, yes, as I said, the responsibility of it. And so when they learn to like completely on their own shift very confidently is somewhere between 3 and 5 years of their age. And of course I am translating this all into your weeks, months and years, so you can understand it. And yes, there can be of course also confusion about like if we are like shifting through time and space that don't live linearly, how can I even translate it into your time? And of course, like although you can imagine, like although we can shift ourselves like through different times, but we don't count the time like on like externally, but we count the time internally. So when I, for example, you can imagine like if you would have that ability, like okay, I'm now here for 5 minutes, then I shift to some other time, then I spend 10 minutes there, and I shift back again here. Like when I left after this 5 minutes, and it's not like I lived only 5 minutes. I lived 5 plus 10 minutes before. So it's our internal clock that I am using to give you this you know estimates. And another thing that I also wanted to mention is about, for example, crying. Like if this, let's say, hybrid children, or this type of children, if they cry as they are babies, yeah. And yes, this can happen. This can naturally happen sometimes, but most of the time they don't cry because, as I was explaining to you, they are very connected within us. And children, also your children, cry when they need something and they need a certain bond, and all of course they can cry when they are hungry, when they have a certain discomfort, let's say, and they are crying like they are dying. So they have this strong urge to survive, so they are explaining this to you this way. But children that we have, they we see and understand like how they're still connected within the field of the quantum consciousness. And basically, as we are aware of that strong bond with them, we can always feel like when they need something, they can just give us a feeling. So we are very in tune with our children in this way. So it's very rare that they would cry, because they can just give us a notch through the energy, the feeling, and then we can feel, we communicate with our children this way. And so this is one thing that I also wanted to mention. And another question towards like this, for example, how children are shifting was as well, like if they can, yeah, like when they're shifting through time, if they can use it to advantage of their learning, of their personal growth, let's say. So this is something that I would like to tell you about in a next channeling, next talk that would be facilitated, and this is for today that I would like to share. So I hope you enjoy this information, and you found some interesting information in it, and thank you and goodbye. Okay. Okay, so it was quite long, but still not as bad. So yeah, it was nice to talk about it, and yeah, there were some things like I know there was in the questions about like about hybridization with the different DNAs. She didn't go into certain things or answers that was also asking other questions and so on. So I would like to do the answers on everything that was asked there in some other videos again. So thank you for being here, and yeah, I hope also you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. So bye bye, and see you next time.